I know, I got way too many projects and I never finish any of them. So I guess the best thing to do is to start a new project. I'm super excited about this one. This is a 383 stroker engine that's gonna go in the old Black Widow. Quick story on this engine. I have a good friend of mine who has built hot rods, is motorcycle drag racing. He built this engine a while ago for a pickup truck that him and his son had, and they put it all together and drove it about 50 miles on pump gas, and it blew out one of the pistons. The engine was practically brand new, and it was all roller everything, and it was a pretty nice stout little engine. So after the piston blew, they tore it all apart, expecting there to be a ton of damage. They took it back to the machine shop that did all the machine work on it. They inspected everything. The block itself was totally fine. In fact, mysteriously, they couldn't figure out where that little chunk of the piston went to. So they took it home intending to rebuild it, and 10 years later, it was still sitting in the corner of the shop. So he says to me, he says, "Do you know anyone looking for a 383 stroker?" And immediately I was like, I've always wanted to build one of these engines. Never really figured it would like come to pass, you know, but he said, just come get it. I got a box of parts. And he let me take it home for free. See kids, it pays to be nice, have good friends. He's since given me a ton of small block Chevy stuff because he says he's never gonna build another small block Chevy. He's kind of out of the hot rod game and he's on to loving life right now. So I got this box of stuff, been waiting since the pandemic started for cylinder heads for this thing. But since this thing sat for like 10 plus years, it started to develop rust. And I'm really hoping that this isn't pitted too deeply, that this is just surface rust. So I'm gonna attempt to do some stone honing on it and just see what I can do. I'm really crossing my fingers that the honing will get it back to square one where I don't have to rebore the block, hopefully. Knock on wood. Let's see what happens. So as you can see, cylinder 1 down here is the worst. Cylinder 5 is the one that the piston blew out of, but as you can see, there's no deep scratches or scoring or anything like that. The passenger side isn't so bad. As you can see, there's a couple spots where there is some surface rust. So let me just tell you a couple of tips about honing. No matter if you use a dingleberry ball or one of these stone hones, they are not the same as the machine shop honing machines. These are more meant for getting the glaze out of your cylinder walls. They're more meant for freshening up your engine. They're not meant for rebuilding. So if you're trying to actually take a lot of material off, these hones will not do it. In my personal opinion, I don't like the dingleberry hones because those balls can kind of morph inside your cylinder and you can kind of get sort of an hourglass shape within inside of your cylinder, which you do not want. You want that to be straight. The other thing is you want to keep it lubricated. A lot of guys will use mixtures of kerosene, oils. I've even seen diesel oil. It has to be a really thin lubricant. WD-40 works just fine, to each their own, as long as you keep it lubricated with some good thin lubricant. You don't want to use like 10W50 or anything like that, because that even exists. Secondly, as you're moving your stone hone through there, you don't want to go too deep because you can hit these main journals down there, and that will destroy your stones in a hurry. You also want to get a good mixture of RPM and up and down movement as you go, because we're trying to get a crosshatch that's about 30 something to 40 something degrees. Anything more than like 45 is too big. It is kind of a feel, and if you're starting out on this, I would probably say start out on something that you don't really care about, because you can kind of mess this up if you score it too deep. The other thing is, you don't want to stop these stone hones in your cylinder wall. You can start it in your cylinder wall, but after you go for a little while, you want to pull it out before you stop it, because if you stop it and then pull it out, that's going to scrape what you just did off of it. You're going to have to rehatch it again. Well, good news and bad news. The good news is a lot of that rust was just surface rust. In fact, you can see I got most of it off of there. And there are a couple of spots here, but you really can't feel it with your fingernail or anything like that. So I think these are good to go. The only thing that concerns me are these score marks. If you look down in there, there's like some scoring going on, but it's not deep enough to where I can feel it. So, I mean, I don't know, you guys can comment down below if you think this is okay or not. If I can't feel it with my fingernail, it's just a visual scratch mark there, I think it's okay. I don't know, what do you think? And then on cylinder number 5, this is the one where this chunk of the piston came off. You can see there are a couple of dark spots, and those dark spots are basically low spots where the stones aren't actually reaching. Again, I don't feel it with my finger, but I mean, comment below if you think that's gonna be a problem as well. Anyway, the next step is to clean all these cylinder walls with some mineral spirits. I'll probably wipe them down with some engine oil just to keep them oiled and not developing more rust in the future. And then, yeah, I might send it off to the machine shop anyway, just to have them rebalance everything, because I do need to get another piston and some new rings and stuff. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll see what happens. Make sure you let me know if you see anything that I missed on this video. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you check out the t-shirts and hats and stuff over here, and I'll see you on the next one.